Hello people, it's Blitz here. Welcome back to another episode of Roller Coaster Tycoon World. We've had official updates. Update 1, as they're calling it. Okay, first things. This update has actually fixed my saves, which is amazing. I thought, let's test it out for a third time. We'll make a new park altogether and see if we have the same problem again. And so far we haven't had the problem, so we're definitely grateful in that area. At least we can actually make something now. So I say again, Nvidia or Atari have fixed the bug which I stated in the last video I done not to buy the game. It's now been fixed. Well, it has been fixed for me, I can at least say that. So in this part, the plan is to make an adventure park. Lots of water. Now originally, on the last park I was trying to make, I was going to do a bit of a water well where we're going to put all the rides on water. I've decided to change that. We've got the Egyptian theme, so we're going to do a lot of sand dunes and stuff, and see what else we can make and see what other bugs we can find. So the updates brought us a lot more Egyptian items. I can't say exactly how many, without looking it up, and obviously some optimizations, and obviously it doesn't actually state it anywhere, but they have actually fixed the problem with the saves, as I just mentioned. It's also got faster, I have to say, and I think the lighting ability's also been fixed or tweaked in some areas. So what we've done so far, we made a mound, stuck the centerpiece in the centre, put a moat round it, and put a big path going around it. Now the plan is, well, we do some rocks as we always do, as you can see. A lot of rocks, do some bit of foliage. Now the update. The best thing about the update, besides fixing my saves, they're taking collision control off items. Now if you don't know what that does, basically, where before if I try to put a rock on a rock, you basically had it was basically on top of each other. But now you can actually stick a rock inside a rock as many times as you want, and you can literally keep pressing your mouse button as many times as you want for how many rocks you want to put down. So it's fantastic. It's just not on rocks, it's also on trees and you name it, all sorts of stuff. Makes life so much quicker. And okay, you still, if you like me, fussy, I like things to be change the direction of the rocks, turn them around, upside down, and so and so. I don't want to span 20,000 rocks all looking the same. That'd be just boring for me. So I still have to take my time placing rocks, and this is why we speed up my videos, because otherwise you'll be bored in 5 minutes. I have found a new bug. Well, saying new, I believe it was actually in patch 13. Or the last patch, whatever number that was. I don't know, 19, 13, I don't know. Lost count now. Well, when you're making a piece by piece building, you make the building, you say half of it, and you thought, okay, I want to move it to another location. So you leave the roof off, for instance. You thought, okay, I'll move it to the right location. Go to make the roof. So you go into edit mode, go to put the roof on, and for some bizarre reason they don't line up. I mean, when I mean they don't line up, they're literally like 5mm out. I've even tested it where, okay, let's delete the wall on the first tier. So you go, bang, delete the wall, put the new wall in, and you got to put the roof piece on, and again it sets it out of line. And again, the only way I could find out to get rid of it was actually to delete the building and start over. When you look at the grid, when you click on your building to edit and you look at the grid, you can actually see the actual grid itself is actually gone out of line with the brickwork. I can't remember now if I actually got it on video, but when I will purposely make it for the next video if I've not got it on this video. I can't exactly remember now of all the video editing I've been doing today, and I will show you where it goes wrong, and it's bizarre. Now these are little surfer boards. I think these were one of the add-ons to the release. So thought we have a quick look at them. Not quite sure if I would actually stick them on the beach or not. I'll work that one out a bit later. Okay, so moving on. Well, so far we've got, I don't know, a few dozen rocks added. Just going to move around to the other side and get some bits done. Yeah, so I'm going to try and play as much around with the Egyptian theme in this part as possible. And if I come up across any more bugs, I'll let you know. Okay, we've still got the path bug where, okay, sometimes when you put path on the edge of, say, a mound, it reshapes the ground for you, which can be annoying sometimes, especially if you want to build a certain feature like a cliff face. It just doesn't want to know. And I suppose over time it will get fixed. Problem is, I do think they've released this way too early. I've got to admit, this patch, this is the best patch I've seen them do for a long time. It's usually what you get. We get a new item, new content. You thought, oh great, new content, and it always brings new bugs. Now I've not seen any new bugs so far. I've just seen old bugs which we had originally from the beta, which obviously still ain't been fixed. So I've just added some rocks. As you can see, I can now put rocks inside rocks. There's no collision control, but then you can like make your own rock up if you want to. Can't complain. Brilliant, really. So I moved on, added a few more bits and bobs. Painted the ground a bit, added a skull. Now most of this will be underwater, but I like putting items in water, which is another good thing. Because there's no longer collision control, we can put items now straight into water, which we couldn't before, which was a pain, because as I always said on my previous videos, make sure you put the items in place first before you put the water in, because it takes ages to put the water down, especially if you've got a big lake. And now we can just drop them straight in. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I do think you should have an option on certain items though where you can have collision control on. Because I mean, I wouldn't mind making a tunnel where, again, where the terrain doesn't go through the brickwork. And for instance, I might like make a water feature where I've got glass up both sides of the path and it stops the water coming in. But we can't do that yet. We can only hope. I don't know when those sort of features will come. That's beyond me. Unfortunately, and video doesn't tell us what's actually coming. So where it comes, I don't know. Oh, by the way, and I'm actually playing this on medium settings. So I just want to check out, see how fast it's got. Or I don't think there's a massive difference between, to be honest, with high settings and medium settings. Now there was in the test run when we were doing beta. You put down the medium settings, a lot of textures on the rocks used to fade out quite a bit unless you really zoomed in. Now they're not having that problem now. Okay, so let's have a quick look what we've done with the mound and a path system. I don't think that looks too bad with the water. Have a quick look at it later on when we're finished for the day. So let's move on. I decided to make this piece where you come in from the start. So I've got statues both sides of the path, the male ones and the female ones. And I decided to use a half piece of brickwork on top to make like an archway sort of thing going down the centre path. Now, I actually made a mistake on this. I didn't realise until I got to the end. I thought, oh, sod it, I might not cock up and I had to make it again. Well, what I was doing the top part, I thought, okay, that's all nice and lined up, and I was looking at it and it wasn't square each side, it wasn't equal, so I had to do it again. Now, if you look at it slightly there, you might notice that some of them are sticking out each side a lot further than the other side. I thought, okay, I'll delete that and just do it from scratch. Now, there is another bug when it comes to piece by piece. Certain items where you can join together as a group, and then you say copy, they work fine. Now, I've noticed if you try to do it on a doorway, and say you put, let's say, a dozen doorways together to make so you want to make a circle, for instance, and you group them as normal, comes up fine, and you say duplicate, and you only get one part. If for some odd reason on the doorway it decides it won't let you have any more than one, it won't copy the entire group together. I don't know why. It's a bug, and it can be real pain sometimes. And originally what you had to do is like you make one, come out of the piece by piece thing, go back to piece by piece, and start over. And you got to do that as many times you wanted to if you was going to make a special setup. But I found a quick route. If you put the first part down and you click on it and duplicate, it's a lot easier and quicker. I keep pressing the duplicate button than actually coming out of the thing altogether and going back in. So it's a bit of a tip. But it doesn't solve the problem where, again, on the doorway, if you put half a dozen together to make a group, it doesn't copy the group. It's a bit beyond me why it does it on certain stuff and another item it doesn't. So I ended up making these. I put the 4 statues down, done the top piece, made sure they was equal, then just duplicated them all on the path, then joined them up as one whole set. But as you can see, it's not equal. The brickwork sticks out one side and not the other. Now I could have cheated, I could have added another piece of brickwork, made them equal. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do that. I shall make them again, which I did. I want to add a few more bits to it. I ain't figured out what yet. Might add a bit of woodwork to it, just to make it look nice. I might put some flowers on top of it, so we get some sort of hanging basket coming down. But we'll see what we can come up with in the future. In the meantime, we'll make our next building. So I'm going to make a toilet info centre on the right here. As we know, it's the first place you want to go. Find out where to go in a park, and we will need to go to the lavatory before we start doing anything major. So I want to build it on a mound because I like doing things. I don't like anything flat, simple. I think everything stands out better when you put on mounds. So I'm going to build basically a square pyramid. We can't do triangle ones, not yet. Anyway, be nice if we could. So basically, like I said, I have 2 toilets, 2 info centers. Basically, just coming up to the building with a path and so and so. This is another, uh, it's not a major bug, but it is a bug. You're in edit mode on the building you're making, and you grab a shop, and it turns off the grid. Now I suppose at the end of the day it wants to turn off the grid because you want you to go onto an alignment instead. That's good if you're next to a path, but I'm not next to a path. I want to put the path in afterwards. And I think, well, if I'm already on the grid, surely it should just leave me on the grid. Shouldn't keep turning it off. So it's a minor bug, but it can be annoying sometimes, especially if you want to make a lot of shops. So now we're just going to move it into the right location. And see, we can't really see sometimes. Again, they never had this problem in the first release of the beta. You quite easily make out outlines of the terrain. But I think they've done something where features don't always look easy to find. But we have got the mound, and it looks like it's too small. Okay, this is where we come with the annoying path bug. And like it reshapes the land. And in some ways you can say, okay, problem solved. And I need to slightly adjust that. Now you can see where straight away on that pyramid where the grid's gone out of alignment. It's 5 mil over one side. There's nothing I can do about it without, well, rebuilding the building again in the right location. And you might think, oh, that's just the floor is flat. Okay, but we adjust the floor afterwards and it doesn't solve the problem. It's basically out. That's why one side of my path is slightly under the building and the other side sticks out. You shouldn't do it because at the end of the day that's what the idea the grid's there for. But it can be if you're making a large building. Now I'd have to say basically, now again look, you can see there I'm trying to put the brickwork in and it just don't line up. It just says you've got no chance in hell. So the only way around it, as I did, but I actually cheated on this bit. I only wanted to put a roof on, so I decided to make the roof separate. I'm not quite sure if I did it in one of my videos in a beta. It shows you how old this bug is. And I thought, okay, we've only got to make a roof. I'll go and make a roof and just stick the entire roof just on top without doing the building again. It's a workaround, but it shouldn't be like that. I've got no idea why it goes out of shape. It just does. So I quickly built a roof. Thought just cheap at the end of the day. I was thinking about it when I got that roof there. I thought, oh, it looks quite good actually being in the opposite direction from each other. Might be able to do some sort of sci-fi thing like that. Might get it look like a spaceship-y thingy. So there we go. As a quick workaround. If you can't put a roof on, or okay, in this case it worked for me because it was the roof, and you can make it separate. But if it was obviously you're coming up to build a brick wall, for a building you're already on, it might be a bit different. If you come to an extension, you better get around it. You can do it again, do a separate building, and just push it in the right position. So this is one of the features they've added to the Egyptian set. They've got these, I think there's about 6 of them altogether. They've got different prints on them. And I thought, well, I might use them up as like a poster wall feature. Going around the outside of the building. Different ones. They're certainly well detailed. I can't complain with that. And also you can see the torches as well I've added. Again, they're part of the Egyptian theme. Nice flame. Yeah, quite like them. Okay, moving on. I decided to make basically a restaurant. A long restaurant and a pool each side of it with a fountain in. So I thought I'd just shape the ground for the pool. Now the pool's actually I find quite difficult sometimes because you've got to make sure it's all nice and square, and every time you put a path next to it or a building piece next to it, it shapes the ground. So you spend more time constantly changing the ground than actually making the building. I say pool, it's more like a duck pond. You can't actually swim in it. Not yet anyway. May do in the future if they change things. Until they do, at the moment it's just a feature to look at. So as the building, I'll just add in. I actually made a mistake here. I thought it'd be easier to do it this way. I made the building in the middle, and I thought I'd make the two pools on the side of it separate, piece by piece items. But don't matter how I try, they wouldn't go together because I was making the building in the middle. It kept changing the terrain with the paths and the buildings being put in position, and the pond kept going out of shape, and I had to keep moving the brickwork around constantly for the pond as such. So I then ended up deleting all the brickwork going around the pond and basically taking it straight off the central building and going from there. Now actually I had to make this building twice because I had the same bug as earlier where it went out of line and the building was a bit too complex to actually play around with. I thought, sorry, I should just do it again. And I made it slightly different. So you may see in one of the next shots that the building is slightly different, but it ain't changed that much. The only thing I think I changed was the statues inside. But otherwise it comes out quite well. So I've added some foliage around it. Bit of greenage. I've used the green texture tile, the floor piece goes around the outside because obviously when you do terrain work it doesn't go square with the brickwork, so you have to sort of cheat, and the only way around we can do it is put a tile in. Now I could have used the path. I thought no, I'll use the green texture instead and have the path go around the outside. We'll just make it a little bit different. I added old Osblick, or what they pronounce it as, to the corners, but they stick out a bit, so I thought, okay, how can I get around that? I can use one of the column pieces, stick underneath it, so it looks like a support. I put the big fountain in the middle. You've got to remember when you've got those fountains, you can't raise them. I'm not quite sure. I wouldn't say it's a bug, it's probably a feature they're not adding to that item at this moment in time. You see where I've added a path, it's sort of the pool, so I've got to just change it, make sure it don't stick out. But I think that's come out quite nice. Again, you go in the two doors, and there's one at the end, you go in, and we got in there the drink stop, the burger, I think 4 shops and 4 souvenir shops ready to go. We've got the toilets and the info on the right hand side. It's got a toilet in there as well in the restaurant. There's loads of benches. We'll sit all out at the end. We have a nice video feature going through it. Now we've got to have a ride now. Otherwise everyone's going to start going mad and going on strike. I come to this park to go on a ride. Didn't come to see the scenery, so we're going to get a ride in somewhere along the line. So I used the old banana ride for this one because it's adventure theme, and we are doing adventure land as such. Now I wanted to place columns in a circle, and I thought, okay, how am I going to get them in a circle without keep moving around and just guessing it? I thought, okay, one thing about rides, they have the circle of influence going around them as such. I thought, okay, if I just duplicate all the columns, what I want to do, go around the outside one by one, it'd be great. Now, as I said before, on certain items they don't join up, and I did try basically getting a quarter of a circle, copy and paste, and it won't do it, so we have to do every single one of them. Just the way the game is, nothing I can do about it. Yeah, as I was making it, I thought to myself, okay, I noticed where I made the pyramid, the land goes up slightly. I thought, oh, that might be a nice feature if I actually make it, the columns go around the circle and they go up and down. And I thought it come out quite well. So yeah, get the old paint in there, make it all nice sandy. Looks quite cool. And the next thing is, I thought I had to work out the lights and an entrance. So just sticking the paths in, and typical, got one of my columns in the wrong spot. But that's life. We move that out of the way. So moving on, we've added 2 large statues in the front there, and the old little fire lanterns on every second column, and put some water each side of it and some foliage in. Put a nice brighten it up. Decided to add another water feature. I get one of these little hot pools. If I stick in the middle of the water, hopefully it squirt the water out. I was thinking about putting one on the other side as well. I thought, now what I do, I think that looks quite good. I did add a few fireworks and some bubble makers as well, but they're not on the video. Yeah, I think so far it's come on quite well. Got to figure out what to go there. I think about doing in that space some sort of crypt thing, and so on. Okay, so let's have a look at the park, and I will see you in part 2. So blitz out, have fun all, and I will leave all the fixes at the end of the video, so you can have a read up yourself.